All right. Let me start this video. I've been playing with the lighting because of this daylight savings time. Has me driving my son to school later in the day, or the sun is up now and it's killing me again. So anyway, I'm gonna be trying to position my head. So today I want to talk about a conversation that I had with a filmmaker in Atlanta, Lane Fobbs. And he was asking me what did I think about Snoop Dogg's comment about, no more slave movies, and did I think that, what's his name, Nate Parker got a bad deal, when he came out with Birth of a Nation, the Nat Turner story and movie. And I feel that he did get a bad rap. First of all, I think he's an early casualty of the Me Too movement, which was started by black women, and I don't have any problems with the Me Too movement. But as we see, because it was started by black women, black men have become the early casualties of the movement. And I think, I don't know if white men are going to become casualties. I know Matt Lauer lost his job. I know Weinstein is put on blast, but people still watching his movies. So I don't know, right? But that said, I think Nate Parker, who had, some questionable allegations about his situation that he was actually found innocent for, I think he handled it wrong. Now, that's aside, right? I still think the Snoop Dogg comment of we don't want to see any more slave movies, or we don't need any more slave movies after 12 years a slave, kind of just was like irritatingly accurate, or, who wants to watch you getting beat down all the time? Damn, they do Holocaust movies, but they're Nazis going back and shooting them up like zombies, you know what I'm saying? And they catching the zombies. I'm Nazis. But slave movies, we be still slaving. You know what I'm saying? They don't even call us African. So, Django was pretty good. In terms of its angle. But, I told Lane, I was like, dude, let me get a hold of a Nat Turner script. My script is going to be different. And I think when we start thinking about, what Snoop Dogg was talking about, because it wasn't Snoop Dogg, he does just like any other rapper does. He feels the pulse of the street and he puts it in his lyrics. And this time he used his ear to the street and what people have been saying and just made a comment on it. Okay, he didn't even write a whole song. He didn't make a song called "We Don't Want No Slave Movies, No Slave Movies." This is Sneak Double G. Okay, I ain't even gonna get into it. Anyway, I personally feel if I would have done a Nat Turner picture, it would have started with mid-fight, okay, mid-rebellion, okay, where Nat Turner's, Nate Parker's movie was 90% backstory and 10% was the actual rebellion. Nat Turner was a lot of things before he led his rebellion, but none of those were important. The main thing was his conflict. You know what I'm saying? So it's like doing a documentary on Michael Jordan and all you hear is his, home life, and then the last few minutes you see him playing in the NBA. That's not what we want. We want to see Michael Jordan documentary with him dunking on Patrick Ewing in the first 3 minutes, and then he says, I wasn't always this awesome. You know what I'm saying? Or him getting his 6th ring, and then they say, I didn't even start like this. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. Nat Turner, you do a story on Nat Turner, Jeff Carroll version, he's starting with his foot on some white dude's head, busting him in the face with a gun, and then saying, I'm gonna pull some teeth out like you did my ancestors, my relatives, my friends, like you did the girl yesterday. How about that? You understand? this is our plantation. You know what I'm saying? Now you're going whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to have, oppressors or plantation owners, overseers, whatever. They're going to be getting slayed every 5 minutes. Not even every 5 minutes. Knives coming at them. Shovel kill. You understand what I'm saying? I'm doing all types of rebellion kill scenes. I'm using every tool in the field plantation. I'm going to have some house slave killings. You understand what I'm saying? I'm going crazy because that's what I think people want to see or would enjoy. And then the last 10 minutes, I may show a little bit of his growing up life, a little bit of his preparation. And then in the final credits, that's when you'll see Nat Turner was eventually caught. His rebellion was not successful, and he was killed. His head was posted up, and it, for display. That's going to be in the closing credits. I won't even waste film footage on shooting those scenes. So yeah, my movie would be different. You know what I'm saying? It'd be a feel-good movie like Braveheart. Forget it. And again, like I say with Harriet Tubman, she never lived long enough to tell us all the white people that she might have had to kill along the way. And it's very fair to say she might have had to kill a few of them. And it's very clear to say if she did, we would never know about it, because if she did tell anybody, she probably would have been arrested for it. You know what I'm saying? Maybe, she fought in the Civil War. She fought in the Civil War. So maybe in some, she's sitting around with Denzel and Morgan Freeman's, Glory Company, and they trading war stories. And they be like, yo, what you got, Harriet? She was like, yo, we killed like a whole militia of white dudes. They was highwaymen. They was slave catchers. They thought they was tracking us. We doubled back, caught them, sliced them up, nice, buried them, and nobody even found them. You couldn't trade war stories with Harriet Tubman. Are you kidding me? You're in the Civil War, sitting around fighting for your freedom. This your first fight. Harriet Tubman been fighting and sneaking people out of slavery for a long time. Not to mention, she wasn't the only one. And coming north wasn't the only escape route. There were escape routes to Mexico, out west, to Seminole country down south. Blackbeard had 4 ships, 250 people on each ship. So they was all escaped slaves. So there had to be some escape routes going out east off the coast onto a ship or a boat. All of that is some beautiful history, bro. We didn't get beat during slavery. They just had us down for a minute. We championed that, and there's victorious stories along the way. The whole you have 4 ships with 250 people on them. That's exaggerated higher, exaggerated lower, but we'll just go with that as the average. 4 ships, that's 1,000 people, yo. That's a navy. That's a fleet. You understand? You run up to an island with 1,000 soldiers. You understand? That's how these so-called pirates. We got to come up for a name. Black Water Revolutionary, Black Caribbean Naval Revolutionaries, something like that. Revolutionary Navy. But these guys were revolutionary. They was taking over, Martinique, whole bunch of islands. They just jumped the island, house raided it, liberated the Africans, and killed and kidnapped the governors. That's gangster. They ain't telling those type of slave stories. That's real deal history. You had my man out of Miami, Black Caesar. He still haven't found his buried treasure, right? He was kidnapping royal families, freeing the Africans, and holding the royal families, the wife, the children, for ransom. And the countries was paying it. That's gangster. That's gangster. All that stupid nonsense George Bush and Ronald Reagan and all them talk about we don't negotiate with terrorists. Well, they negotiated with Black Caesar And he was an escaped African who came to America during the Haitian Revolution and swam or floated or took a boat or was carried like Elian Gonzalez and got here to America. That's gangster. Now, if I'm Nate Parker, I'm casting Snoop Dogg in my slave rebellion story, and I'm saying, this is my pitch. We in the meeting room with Snoop. I'm saying to Snoop, yo, dude, you want to kill some white folks? Yo, I got you. Whatever weapon you want. Pitchfork, son, I got you. Double barrel shotgun, blow them out. We going Quentin Tarantino style in this slave joint. We ain't even going to hold back. So yeah, I think you know, when you look at it, it is how you present certain things. I don't think we're tired of slave stories. I know if I get a chance to do a slavery story, that's how it's going to be. I'm getting full out gangster. I'm going bloody, Quentin Tarantino style. I'm going over the top. I'm going Braveheart with my narrative. So there's going to be a whole lot of craziness going on, you know, and I know people will enjoy it because that's what we're looking for out here. You know, feel-good movies, entertainment. It's like that video game from Assassin's Creed, Freedom Cry. Yo, that joint is, he had the double stab. He stabbed one dude in the throat, caught another dude like this, taking out overseers, you know what I'm saying, enslavers, kidnappers, rapists, whatever the heck you want to call them. He was taking them out, They didn't even let the video game be released in America. You had to download it as digital content, but it was a full video game. So that I'm releasing that video game as a movie. You understand what I'm saying? All the other Assassin's Creeds, they don't even mention that Assassin's Creed in any of them. You don't see it as Assassin's Creed comic book. You don't see it in the Assassin's Creed encyclopedias. Look for it. Adwele, that's his name. He was running through the Caribbean, straight killing cats and saying to him in the video game, "You are free, my brother." And the African captives would say, "Thank you, my brother." And that was it. But so there's a whole lot of rebellion stories that's out here. I think it's just the angle. Slavery is more than just bed winches and mandingos. That's the whack side of the story. We want to hear the rebellion side of the story. Anyway, let me say shout outs. Throwback jersey, throwback t-shirt of the day. Moodoo Multimedia, my man Walter Moodoo. Yo, peace. The Knackered Days was really good. It's the glory days, man. Thank you checking it out. Check out my books. I got me a Black Caesar Rebellion story in my Sci-Fi Streets book. So if you like what I just said about what I would do with Nat Turner's story, yo, check out my book Sci-Fi Streets, and I got a couple of other stories that I'm working on that are just as rebellious. All right, peace. That's my commentary.